To the first news bulletin on the Joy News channel. My name is Sweetie Abochi, and now the news in detail. The leadership style of former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, described in the party's fact-finding committee report as one that was marked by perceptions of rigidity, single-minded decision-making, and a government dominated by family members, has been cited as a key factor in the NPP's disappointing performance in the Ashanti region during last election. The mode of selecting the party's presidential, parliamentary and national and regional executives is also blamed for the poor showing of the NPP in the region. Now, former majority leader of the party in parliament and chairman of the fact-finding committee, Osei Cheimen Sabonsu, has been sharing some thoughts on how to salvage the NPP.
It's unfortunate that we've gotten to this extent. When this extent started, people paid some stipends to the participants. Initially, when we started, they were even just serving them food. It came to substituting that with the provision of TNT to those of them who assembled at one place to cast their votes. And it was mere transport fares that were paid. Today, it's escalated into something else. And we all know the outcome of it. So people are saying that let's go further downstream. Some of the invested professors that we met also came with some other suggestion. Now look, this whole thing is about delegate. And a delegate does not bear his own voice. He carries the voice and the thinking of the people that he represents. For instance, I'm a member of parliament. I go to represent Ghana's parliament outside Ghana. There is a forum where Ghana's parliament has to vote. I don't represent myself. The issues before we leave, we take positions on them. And if, say, we have to vote, then led by our speaker would say that on this matter, Ghana votes, maybe if we have about 15 votes, Ghana will vote maybe 12 for this item. The next one, maybe 2, and the other one goes to maybe a third option. That's how we do it. So the university professors were saying that, look, at International Fora, this is how it's done. So if maybe we want to really keep to the delegate system as it is now, then the constituencies must meet and take positions, and the delegates will then bear the decisions of the constituency, in which case they will not be representing themselves, but they will be representing the constituency position. What we are doing now, the status quo, is not serving the interest of this causing divisions, it's causing polarization, and people are taking undue advantage and, turning the party structures into a money-making machine, which is not good for the image of the party.
Next, the minority on the vetting committee has rejected the nomination of Justice Ramsai as Deputy Attorney General and Minister for Justice. Now, this follows a clash and abrupt termination of the vetting of the nominee as a ranking member, Alexander Penyumakin, refused to apologize for describing the chairman of the committee as being whimsical and capricious and rudely interjecting proceedings. Now, Chairman Bernard Ahiafo was forced to stop the ranking member from continuing with his questions after failing to force an apology from the ranking member. But what exactly led to this? We'll tell you more in this report.
Between Chairman Bernard Ahiafo and his ranking Alexander Penyumakin began when the ranking member, during his questioning, asked the nominee, Justice Ramsai, to demonstrate how the Akpi dance of the people of Bedome is performed. Chairman Ahiafo stepped in and overruled the question, an action which did not sit well with the ranking member.
Honorable nominee, the question is overruled. You are not going to demonstrate.
Chairman, if you decide to be whimsical and capricious, it will not advance the work of this committee. Apart from the constitutional issues involved, it is also about our culture. We've had nominees speaking their dialect here. And I do not think that if you start by is overruled,
After a number of failed attempts to force an apology from Apenyumakin, the chairman decided to stop him from further proceeding and ended the vetting process.
Ruling the question that you are not going to demonstrate any dance.
You were whimsical and capricious in the way you overruled my question. I will not withdraw.
You would not demonstrate any dance. This is not a demonstration forum. This is appointment committee. So I insist that you withdraw the word that I'm being whimsical and capricious.
Chairman, I will not withdraw. I'm sorry. I will not withdraw. You rudely overruled me. I will not withdraw.
I would again ask that you withdraw the word rudely.
Chairman, one more time, I will not withdraw. I'm sorry.
Will you withdraw?
Chairman, I'm sorry, I will not withdraw.
Well, to demonstrate to you that I am the chairman for this particular vetting committee, that may be your last question.
After a brief caucus meeting, the minority returned with an announcement.
The minority caucus hereby rejects the nomination of the Deputy Attorney General, and that the decision of it would be solely yours as a majority caucus. For today, all other nominees, in furtherance of our protests, we are also rejecting them, and then your decision, it will remain your decision as majority caucus. God willing, tomorrow, we are receiving the president. Our understanding is that there is no vetting. On Friday, God willing, will be available, and if the posture remains same, we will advise ourselves on the next line of action.
But the chairman rejected this position, warning he could have cited Apenyumakin for contempt over his action.
I'm entitled to overrule a question. When you want to convert the appointment committee, and for that matter, the vetting room into a dancing floor, I think the just thing for me to do is overrule that particular question. In Parliament, anytime unparliamentary language is used, by our rules, you will be requested to withdraw and sometimes apologize. When you refuse to do so, he is even lucky that I have not even cited him for contempt. Honorable members, let's make progress.
The minority later staged a walkout, leaving the subsequent two other vettings for the majority. James Savage's report for Joy News.
Looks like Parliament has been a hot spot for news stories this year. But let's stay on the minority for a bit, because they're calling on President John Dramani Mahama to be truthful about the country he inherited from the NPP when he delivers his message on the State of the Nation address today. John Mahama is expected to address Parliament for his maiden State of the Nation address of his second term today. Now, speaking to journalists in Parliament, the NPP MPs signaled out employment, the economy, power crisis as the key issues they expect President John Dramani Mahama to be candid about. Let's tell you more.
Huge unemployment rate in this country. I'm sure he's going to address that. Not because he inherited that, but because he's creating that through his chief of staff. He signed a letter terminating and revoking the appointment of young Ghanaians that have been appointed into various state institutions. The directive was poor, was bad, was malicious. That is my view about that. In the same vein that the same chief of staff signed letters for people on the 19th of December, employing them even to the highest level of governance in this country. Now we have a huge unemployment rate. You can see the TUC's letter admonishing him to rescind that decision that he's made. I'm sure, maybe, probably, tomorrow, I'm expecting that he speaks to that.
Economy that was criminally mismanaged, was able to give Ghanaians children free secondary education. Economy that was criminally mismanaged, was able to pay allowances to nurses and teachers. Economy that was criminally mismanaged, was able to give some infrastructure. Economy that was criminally mismanaged gave us electricity 24/7. So we want the president to come and tell us the economy that was criminally mismanaged.
His Excellency would not continue on that, looking back all the time. He's been in power for close to two months. His energy minister told us that they've been able to procure alternative fuel and that we expect the lights to be on. I think they should focus on that rather than continuously blaming the previous government. The reality now is that there is some intermittent power outages. I anticipate that, yes, he'll give us some breakdown of how the economy was handed over to him, but I want him to dwell more on what next he intends to do going forward.
Still on the matter, meanwhile, the NDC side believes the president will deliver hope to the people and concretize his vision to reset the country.
Great expectations, which borders on how Ghana is going to roll into the future to reset, as he himself has touted so far. And we expect to see the hopes of Ghanaians renewed towards many of the things that are in our manifesto in the area of education, health, agribusiness, etc., etc. So high expectations that we will see all these areas touched on in terms of programs that will be rolled out to actually bring back a lot of enthusiasm, particularly jobs for the youth.
I'll be expecting the state of the nation the state of the nation address and the president addressing that issue. Again, my other expectation is that the true state that we inherited as the majority will be reflected tomorrow, because we know that His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa, just before he was exiting office, gave us a state of the nation and told us that Ghana is not broke. There's so much that he has left for us. But tomorrow, I believe, by the time we hear the true state of the nation, indeed we will know where and what we inherited.
To other stories, Africa stands at a pivotal moment, striving to balance economic growth with environmental sustainability. Speaking at the Alliance for Science Global Consortium meeting in Nairobi, Kenya, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, the NPP's running mate in the 2024 election, underscored the urgent need for strong political leadership in tackling climate change, poverty, and resource management. He cautioned that without informed and committed leaders, Africa's sustainability challenges will persist, jeopardizing the future generations to come.
Africa is a continent of immense potential. We are home to 30% of the world's mineral reserves, especially the critical minerals necessary for our current development. We have the 65% of the arable lands in the world, which is suffering. We have huge oil and gas reserves. Yet we are also the continent most vulnerable to climate change, despite contributing the least to climate change or greenhouse gas emissions. This paradox places us at the heart of the global sustainability debate. Sustainability, encompassing environmental protection, social equity, and economic viability, is not merely an option, but an imperative for our survival and prosperity. While individual actions are crucial, actual systemic change that addresses the scale of the climate challenges we face today require political will and leadership. We have, as a humanity, organized ourselves in society, and we, from generations, have decided that societies must have leaders. And as these leaders, the reality, however, is that sustainability doesn't happen in a vacuum. It requires the political will. That means the ability to enact policies that may not yield immediate electoral benefits, but will serve future generations. For we politicians, our minds is tuned to 4-year electoral cycle. And we have to make policies and enact laws. That one, I heard this morning, 80% must go. No thinking. That is not what we need. We need informed political leaders to make sure that we don't lose out in this sustainability debate.
The health service for the Komenda Edina Iguafu-Abre municipality in the central region is highlighting its achievement in 2024. During the municipality's 2024 annual health performance review, the Municipal Director of Health Services, Martin Sumani Danko, reported a decrease in maternal mortality and a slight decline in family planning uptake. Abigail Nkrumah has more in this report.
Sumani Danko, the Municipal Director of Health Service for the Komenda Edina Iguafu-Abre municipality, expressed relief for the achievement of the health service in 2024, as he urged health staff to continue their hard work as their efforts have been fruitful.
Looking at what we did, at least the up and downs, we did well in some indicators, others we need to also improve.
On safeguarding public health, the representative of the acting Central Regional Director of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Ellen Alfred Echampon, shared this in her speech.
In recent times, the region has experienced outbreaks of diseases such as cholera, influenza, and dengue fever, placing a significant burden on our public health system. These outbreaks have strained healthcare resources, increased hospital admissions, and exposed critical challenges in disease prevention and response.
During the occasion of the 2024 annual performance review of the health service in the municipality, the Chief of Civil, Nana Kwame Natsikwe I, expressed worry over the growing incline of teenage pregnancy cases in the municipality.
Just from the review, it was announced or it was revealed that teenage pregnancy in KE and Central Region is, escalating. And it is worrisome. So, as chiefs, our duty is to protect our people. So we have to make a campaign.
From KEA Municipality, Abigail Nkrumah report for Joy News.
With the rains expected soon, residents near Mile 7 Park fear another season of flooding from choked gutters. For months, the filth has made life difficult, but despite repeated complaints, little has been done until now. A group of young professionals, the Bus Stop Boys, have rolled up their sleeves to tackle the mess. My colleague Jacqueline Ansomaya has more.
For months, these gutters have been overflowing with waste, turning every downpour into a nightmare for motorists and residents. With the rainy season approaching, the stagnant water not only breeds mosquitoes, but also intensifies the nauseating stench in the area. Kojo, a member of the Bus Stop Boys, admitted that this cleanup has been one of their toughest challenges yet.
This is really tough, one of the toughest jobs we are doing as volunteers. And mainly because individuals, I don't know how we are thinking, but food waste, organic waste is not actually waste. If we understand what it means actually, we could have kept remains of our food somewhere.
Frustrated residents say the choked drains have disrupted their daily lives. Many blame two food joints, which they believe contribute significantly to the waste buildup.
Seeing it ourselves, we haven't been very happy with it. This thing has been there for some time now. And community members raise eyebrows over it. They complain a lot, especially to the food vendor over there. That is a
higher pan because first I got and to me
the situation is really troubling. Our gutters never used to get this clogged, but ever since the new restaurants started operating, their waste, especially oil and other residue, has been flowing into the drains, causing serious blockages. Before, we could just sweep to keep things clean, but now the buildup has made that impossible.
But the challenges from the main issue comes from the restaurants. They dispose of their waste into the gutter, causing blockages that lead to flooding whenever it rains. We've been raising concerns about this for a while.
The gutter affects us sometimes. Maybe sometimes even for the gutter will be smelling and it's causing many things for us. Maybe if customer came to buy something, when the gutter started smelling, the person will leave.
One roadside food vendor admitted to pouring waste into the gutters, but insisted she only disposes of water after removing solid debris.
before answer na me so be ko gutter yi mu no na ma di kan den aso ne so answer na me dey akọ gutter.
However, a more prominent establishment has been at the center of the complaints. The manager of the food joint admitted to contributing to the problem.
Some people from Kaswa, they came here concerning that, and now we all channeled the plan, and then now we did that practice.
Yeah,
and
but we also don't think some of your stuff, I mean the stuff that you use at the restaurant, some of them do not make their way to the gutter. You don't think so?
Oh, I think because it's a food, they definitely rice particles and that one. I think that that's not the main problem. Yeah, because definitely.
So then it means somehow, some way you also contribute.
Yes, we also, I could say that we also contribute, but the main problem is that those over there.
Yeah. What would you do in your bit to also make sure that once they are done, we won't see such a filth here?
After everything, we want to put some measures that maybe a week or maybe 2 weeks, we're going to call for an exercise so that we all help and then we all clear every dirty things inside the gutter.
The Bar Store boys affirm their commitment to keeping Ghana clean and fostering a change in mindset towards proper waste disposal. For Joy News, I'm Jacqueline Ansama Yaboa.
Moving on, popular U.S. preacher Apostle Wayne T. Jackson and his wife, Dr. Beverly Jackson, have donated a fully equipped computer laboratory and library to the underprivileged Ebusia District Assembly Junior High School in the Ashanti region. The couple aims to enhance the teaching and learning of information and communication technology at the school with a new lab, which is stocked with 60 computers and stable internet connectivity. Additionally, the school received a new junior high school block, a modern toilet facility, and a mechanized water system from the philanthropist. There's more in this report.
It was all joy as pupils of Abensia DA Junior High School performed choreography to welcome high-grade computers to the school. Until the donation of the ICT lab, students in the farming community lived an imaginary life in the study of ICT as teachers taught computing lessons without access to computers and other inputs.
They only understand the theories, but they've never tried their hands on any computer before.
Popular U.S. preacher, Apostle Wayne T. Jackson and his wife, Dr. Beverly Jackson, offered the opportunity to change the status of the school. They have also donated a JHS block, toilet and water facilities, as well as a modern palace to the local traditional authority. Apostle Jackson is also promising to build teachers' quarters to accommodate teachers who commute from far to teach in the school.
I'm so glad that God has freed us as a people to come back to our homeland, to be a blessing to all of our brothers and sisters here.
Overlord of Insuta traditional area, Nana Asamoah Jemfi Sechere, says access to the ICT lab and library has put children in the area on the same level where they can compete with their counterparts elsewhere.
This facility will provide our youth with access to modern technology, resources and knowledge, and empower them to compete in an increasingly digital world.
Kwabena Kunedu Yadom is a computing teacher for the local junior high school. He says the pupils are already anxious for the first practical ICT class, where they will have the opportunity to touch computers for the first time.
They came for inspection, but they've never tried their hands on it yet. Yes, and they are happy with these computers because they are coming to know things more practical aside the theory they know already.
Meanwhile, all is set for the construction of the Teachers' Quarters project to be funded by Jackson Impact Foundation. Apostle Wayne T. Jackson is also the founder and president of Impact Network, the all-African American founded and operated national Christian television network in the U.S. Ohimin Terrier's report read to you.
And that takes us to Benjamin Akapo now. He serves you Business Update.
Welcome aboard our Business Update for the morning. Let's head straight into our currency market to find out how the cedi and other currencies are trading. Let's head into our stories now. And the Ghana Association of Banks has expressed its commitment to work closely with the Bank of Ghana to implement the necessary reforms in improving the financial sector. According to the association, the proposed priority areas and reforms outlined by the Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama would go a long way to help de-risk the financial architecture of the country. Johnny Wah is CEO of the Ghana Association of Banks and has been speaking to Joy Business.
It's a very good start. Without a firm foundation, there is not much you can build. And without cleaning up of the environment, there's not much loan you can give. There's not much a monetary policy that can drive the right behaviors and the right regulatory policy outcomes. So I wouldn't say that it is a strict jacket and therefore he does this and then everything is 100% done. But you have to start from somewhere, and we like where he's starting from. And normally, I like leaders who do not give you 1,001 things they are going to do, but they give you out of the 1,001, the 3, 4, 5 that they are going to directly focus on, that is going to help them succeed. So it is a building block, and I think the foundation has been laid very solidly, and we know how to track his performance. And that tells you that going forward, you can pick a phone and say, when you came, your first thing was to say you're going to work on the exchange rate. How have you fared? You said you're going to deepen financial inclusion. How have you fared? You said you're going to work with the fiscal managers to balance monetary policy and fiscal policy. How have you fared? You said we're going to help the banks to reduce NPLs. How have you fared? So we have areas where we can quickly test the performance of the new governor. And I think it's a very good way to start.
In our second story, the 2024 Ghana Trade Report released by the Ghana Statistical Service has revealed that gold was the main export product for the country in that year. There's more in this report.
The report showed that gold exports to Asia accounted for 65.4%, Europe 60.2%, and Africa 49.4%, while mineral fuels and oils predominated exports to North America, representing 60.9%. It further revealed that more than half of the exports to each continent were received by one country. In Asia, the United Arab Emirates received 53.1% of Ghana's exports. Canada received 58.6% of exports to North America. Switzerland accounted for 60.2% of exports to Europe. South Africa was the destination for 60.5% to other African countries. Brazil predominated exports to South America with a 94.1% share. The United Arab Emirates, Switzerland, and South Africa are the main export destinations for Ghana. Exports to these countries each exceeded 35 billion cedis, which when combined is more than a third of the total value of exports in 2024.
Let's now find out how major commodities are being bought and sold for in our commodities market. And that's it for our business update. Handing over back to Sweetie Abochi.
Thank you, Benjamin. I'm copying my dressing code, but thank you for bringing us business updates. Now let's end the news review, the news bulletin on the AM show, and get ready for the news review segments. And Kwesi Kwating is from our PRO for the Ministry of Education. Amanda Clinton is head of Chamber Clinton Consultancy. They join us to review the newspapers. We're back in a bit. Don't go away.